Hey everyone, Justin Davis here, and today I'd like to talk to you about the facts of failure. I'd actually like for you to get out of this presentation the positives of life failures. I'd like to first talk to you about how failure affects every single one of us, and secondly, I'd like to have to talk to you about how failure doesn't define us. And lastly, I'd like to go over how what you do after failure determines the kind of person that you are. Dana O'Connell states in her article that failure is the universal experience that binds us, in the article of the same name from Image Magazine. And she's right. It does. It's the same. It's all human beings go through failure. I'm no stranger to failure myself. Just today, I have recorded this video 9 times. I failed 9 times prior to this moment. This is the 10th try. So just today I failed that many times. Also, I've had big failures in my life. I've had a business failure. I've had a marriage failure. Almost 2 marriage failures, but God is good. And that second one's still going. We're taking a chance right now by being in this class, by enrolling in ETSU to try and pass college. You know, college is a pass or fail situation. You either make it or you don't. So we all have failures together that we can share and understand. So please listen and hear me today. I really hope that you hear what I have to say, and something I say will come with you and go throughout your life. So as I was saying, everyone fails. We all have the little ones, the big ones. We have the ones that define our lives, the ones that determine how we're going to grow old, that determine whether or not we're going to live in a house or whether we're going to rent for the rest of our lives. Those types of things are all determined by our failures and wins. Bob McKinnon wrote an article back in 2023 of July of 2023 called "Why Do People Succeed or Fail? Your Answer Matters." And in that article, he discussed a study that was done in 1958 by Fritz Heider. It was later furthered by Bernard Weiner in the 1970s, where they coined a term called attribution. And they coined that term by studying the cause and effects of human failure. And the reason that that's important is because there's literally a study for your failures, for every human being's failures. There's so many human beings that fail that they have a whole study for it. There was another study done about the world's religions, and in that study, there was called an article called "The Christians Still World's Largest Religion but Declining in Europe," posted in April 5th, 2017 by David McClendon and Conrad Hackett. And they found out there were 2.3 billion Christians in the world, 2.3 billion with a B. And that tells you that there are 2.3 billion people today that base their life on their failures, because they believe that Jesus Christ died for their sins, and sins is just another way of saying their failures. So if you think about it, that's a whole lot of people that base their entire life and their existence upon their failures. I brought you down. I've let you know that failure is inevitable and unavoidable. Inevitable and unavoidable. So now I'm going to bring you back up. I'm going to tell you a few things. There's a few famous people that have failed and had successes shortly after. Henry Ford filed bankruptcy before starting Henry Ford Motor Company. J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, had 12 no's before her first Harry Potter book was published. Thomas Edison tried 1,000 times before he got the light bulb. In Debbie Gregory's article of October 2019, she posted an article called 65 Famous Quotes from Famous People on Failure to Motivate Your Success. And in that article, she had a quote from Thomas Edison that said, "Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success." Can you imagine if Thomas Edison gave up at 998 different materials? We probably still would have a light bulb from someone else that didn't give up. But can you imagine Thomas Edison wouldn't be the creator of the light bulb? It could make it look completely different today than it does. My final and most important topic for this is you determine what happens next and who you are. Tony Robbins, the famous inspirational speaker, stated in his video, "If You Learn It's Not Failure," from April 10th, 2023, that failure is not something that happens to him, it's something that happens for him. And we're exactly the same way. It's such a true statement. The greatest example to me is how Paul chose to keep going in Acts chapter 9 of the New Testament of the Holy Bible. He was killing Christians, and God came down and said, "Why are you coming after me?" And I'm paraphrasing, but he came down and said, "Why are you coming after me?" And he blinded Paul and changed his name to Paul. It used to be Saul. Paul went and sat for 3 days and soiled in his failures and thought, "What am I going to do?" And he ended up deciding to follow God, stop killing Christians, became one of the greatest apostles to ever exist and lead people to Christ. He chose to keep going, which is what you must do too. To sum everything up, failure hits us all. It's inevitable, it's unavoidable. What we do next is what defines us, not the failure itself. Unless you drive your Huffy bike into oncoming traffic, and then your failure definitely defines you. Thank you.